No. So our plan is we're gonna go to the classes Tuesday through Friday. Then immediately after the classes, go to
play another song. We want.
Nope, Mario didn't. Oh, what's the song?
It's called "Testimony" by Rudy Curry.
Did you get the scripts? Yeah. Did they get sent to me? I don't know why it's always giving me problems. Let me make sure. What? I see. It's always me. Okay. Bring them in.
We got 30 seconds. We got 30 seconds.
All right, Justice, get ready for this motivational. Hurry up, Adam. You told her wait. Took her way too slow. What's up, Facebook? Tina.
Got 10 seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Your testimony is proof that what tried to break you didn't succeed. Sometimes we wonder, why am I going through this? But the truth is, we go through to get through. Every challenge, every setback, every obstacle is shaping your story, building strength, and preparing you to help someone else. What you're facing now will one day become the very thing that encourages someone else to keep going. So hold on, stay faithful, and trust that God is writing a testimony through you that will bless others. Remember, we just don't go through, we grow through. Your breakthrough is on the other side of this. It's your main man, Action Jackson, and it is Monday. I was going to say motivational Monday because I guess it was a motivational message, but I want to encourage you. I heard that song, Testimony, and it made me think that sometimes we forget that in the midst of the testimony, the test is creating the testimony. And you know what? My name is Victory. So I'm so glad that I serve a God that looks beyond my faults and see my needs. You rock with the Brunch Bunch right here on Inspiration 1390. It's Money Monday. We got some great guests in the studio that are going to share their testimonies. And of course, we are off the cusp of an amazing weekend. And I'm always proud to be posted with, you know what? She's aging backwards because she just walked in here looking like an 80s pop star.
Woo, that's what I am. It's your girl, Tamara Fair, T Breezy. This Money Monday, you know what?
You used to be T Kelly.
I never was
T Kales or something.
I never was T Kales. You know what? I'm glad you stopped drinking. That's all I got to say. Did we talk about the fantastic Justice?
Well, we did. I told him I was going to do my review live on the air.
That's right. I loved the whole concept. But you know what? I think more people should do plays like that, right? It was another playwright who was my very second play. She was the director, the writer, and she also played in it. And so I love the fact that they didn't have a lot of stuff. The costume, the set was
it was very minimalistic, but it was amazing.
Powerful.
It was powerful. So,
and let me tell you something. Justice was the star.
The breakout star.
Baby.
Listen, I got to give it to him, you know. And I am a tough critic.
Oh, yeah.
I'm sitting there like, nah, they better bring it. I'm about to talk about it. But you know what? I did leave talking about him. I said, this dude showed out.
He definitely did.
I said, Valencia, it ain't just because he worked with us, but he actually did a great job.
No, we would have said, you're a work in progress.
Yeah, but like, don't invite me to the sixth play. I want to get some more practice. But I'll be at the next one because shout out to Blake Martin, the writer, producer of The Circle. And for those of you that don't know, our very own Justice Hightower was one of the stars of the production, but to us, he was the breakout star. Yes. He was his role was amazing. He was funny.
He executed it. I mean, he played that part. He was DC.
Now I went home and tarried all night long for him because his part cussed a whole lot. I was like, Lord Jesus, if I had to get one more cuss word. But I'm so glad that he did play that part. Because I'm like, Justin don't even look like he cussed.
Judge not, lest you be judged.
But we ain't doing no judging on here. Shout out to Justice. Woo! Jarrell was talking about how
the whole Brunch team showed up.
Except Adam.
You know what? You know what?
No, listen.
You know what? I was trying not to go there.
This is payback from last week. What happened
last
the turncoats was yeah. Well, it was Jarrell. But I said Jarrell ran about that theater like somebody was looking for him. I said, wait. He missed the group picture, but it was nice. Shout out to his family who was there.
His mom
who looks like his sister, and his beautiful fiance who was smiling from ear to ear, just as we listen. And I said one thing, Tamara was really into this play. Like, I wouldn't have to worry about if she said she didn't like it, because you could see that she, like, you could hear she was talking back to the stage. I'm like, would you be quiet?
Well, you know what? That's what I do at movies too. I'll be in the house going, now don't you see that rock? You about to fall.
Remind me to never watch a movie with you.
No, you seriously, I don't care where I am either. I have to go to the movies that are loud and talking inside the movie, because, you know, there's some that be like, shh. And that makes me go, wow, I have to remember my saveness.
I'm the shusher.
Yeah.
I go get the people in the hallway.
You're lucky.
I be like, I come back with popcorn and security is in front of me. But no, listen, Tamara laughed, and I said to Valencia, I said, one thing about Tamara, she supports nonstop, right? She gonna put people on if she can. I said, but when she sees something new, she gonna work hard. We're gonna look up. Tamara gonna have Justice in all the movies with her.
That's right.
She was excited. So we are praying nothing but success for Justice's future. We want him to blow up. Just not this week, because it's a busy week. We need you.
Right. But listen, it wasn't just a busy week for Justice. It was a busy week for you too. Listen, I heard, now I wasn't able to be there because it was our 2-day conference and we culminated. Because let me tell you something, it's been a rough week. We've been going through audits and my whole team needed that. But you did your thing, I heard, at the Women of Excellence. And I heard that you are now invited back again.
I have been booked again. So shout out to, it was a wonderful, wonderful night. And Samantha Chapman, and I this is when I knew, she said, please, she put on her social media, please remind me to book all of my gigs with Marcel Action Jackson.
That's right.
So I thank you to Diana Knight Lewis. The 50 women were phenomenal women. And the 3 main honorees, Senator Kimberly Lightford, Cheryl Burton from ABC 7, and Valerie Jarrett, President Obama's senior advisor, they all got up and gave some speeches that were mind-blowing. It was so inspiring. I told Diana, this had to have been my favorite room to be in.
Really?
Because those speeches were just phenomenal. So,
well, when you got phenomenal people giving speeches, of course the speech was going to be phenomenal. And definitely we want to give a shout out to Miss Jackie Jackson, Miss Kilwins, and Fat Burgers. She is my personal friend, and I'm super excited about her being one of the 2025
She was amazing.
Recipients.
I made sure I grabbed that mic. You know, I like to grab the mic. Don't say nothing. But when I saw, when I see my people, I want to announce them, and I'm glad because she was whispering to me, so I was able to hear what she wanted me to say. And I said it. But shout out to all of the great women. And we got some great women coming up on the show today. So listen, don't go nowhere. Coming up, we got Dr. Dominique Jasmine Smith joining us right here on the Brunch.
Awesome. Turn that down just a little bit for me. Danny, thank you so much. I'm your favorite actress. I appreciate that. And y'all, I got a social media exclusive topic for you. I know, right?
Yeah,
here's your social media exclusive topic. Have you all ever, this is kind of rhetorical, but I just want you to be mindful of it. Have you ever somebody said, can you come and move my things? And you'd be like, yeah, no.
To move something, or have anybody asked you anything?
Any question, and your first response is, yeah, no.
Yeah, no.
It comes like clockwork. You say
that's
that?
happened a few times.
All the time. Where did that come from?
And it's not something for me because I don't say no often. But some stuff is just so outlandish. You'd be like, yeah, no, that ain't happening.
But why do we do that? That's like
where that come from?
Bipolar.
I think it's like a nice way of saying, like, yeah, it's cool if you do it, but it's a no for me.
Is that it?
Yeah, like it's like it being like
he getting them.
I'm gonna say no, but I don't want to judge you for saying yeah.
Well, it's the
Well,
question
man.
is asked of you,
Yeah.
actually.
So if you be like, oh, we finna go to this party, be like, yeah, no. Like if you want to go, you do you, but I ain't going. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no.
But I ain't judging you for going. But
sometimes it's not that. It's yeah, no. Do you say yeah, no?
Nope. No. It's a black thing.
No, it's not. It's
I
not
don't
a
know.
black thing. Let me tell you
Like I
something.
say, yeah, like yeah, no. Yeah, I say
You
that.
say it all the time. I was getting ready to say that, but
Yes.
I wasn't gonna call you
no.
out. You say it all the time. Hi guys, how are you? So if you say that, I want to know, what does that actually mean to you? Yeah.
30 seconds.
No.
Like
The reason I asked that question is because I was on a business call, right? And I thought that the man was getting ready to acquiesce to what I was asking.
Yeah.
He was like, "Oh yeah, but no, we can't."
It's confirming my no. It's like an extra hard no. Like
It really
no.
like
no.
Oh, so it's emphasis.
It's
We got 10
emphasis
seconds.
on the no.
10
Like
seconds,
yeah,
like
no. Yeah, no way.
3344.
That's
yours.
what
Take control of your
No, that's
safety.
yours.
That's 866.
I got
No, this is mine.
3344.
I'm gonna be very quick and go right into the interview. Right. So, of course, it is Women's History Month, but we celebrate Black women history here on the Brunch Bunch because we're blackly black. 365 days a year. Now, Mary Jane Richardson Jones is a fantastic example of this, a free Black woman who bravely advocated emancipation and suffrage. Jones was born free in Tennessee in 1820 and moved to Chicago when she was 25 years old. Illinois at that time had one of the strictest Black codes in the Union. Living in Chicago as a free Black woman in the 1840s was a courageous act, but Jones went even further. She and her husband, a freed slave himself, turned their home into a stop on the Underground Railroad. So shout out to Mary Jane Richardson Jones.
I think we should get the Underground Railroad back up and running.
Yeah.
We gotta get some trains on them tracks.
Well, with Trump in office, we may need some Underground Railroad
Yeah,
stops. But...
no, seriously, I think no. We
Somebody,
no, we definitely need some Underground Railroad action.
Well, you know what? What we don't need is a long introduction for
That's
our
right.
next guest, because just like Mary Jane Richardson Jones, Dr. Dominique Jasmine Smith is a trailblazer making moves. She is the founder and executive director of Empower Urban Communities, Empower UC. Through her nonprofit, she provides free social services, violence intervention, mentoring, and advocacy. As a school social worker, mental health specialist, and one of my favorites, an entrepreneur, she's dedicated to uplifting communities and ensuring access to essential resources. Her work has earned her numerous awards, including the President Volunteer Service Award and the Community Impact Award from the Reverend Jesse Jackson. Let's give a warm brunch welcome to Dr. Dominique Jasmine Smith. Welcome.
Thank you. Thank you all very much for having me during Women's History Month.
We are excited to have you. And I noticed that you work in education. Before we get into the real interview, the real issue now for anyone in education is, how do you feel about this proposed dismantling of the Department of Education? And will that impact your organization at all?
It absolutely will. What it does is it encourages me to go harder and making sure that we are on the first line of making sure that educational resources are available, making sure that whatever decisions are made from the higher up, that we find a way to combat them in order to make sure that our children are still being educated. It also should encourage, and it encourages me as a mother, to make sure that I am practicing and not just preaching, being the first and the primary educator to my children.
Yes.
Because the reality is that we just never know what's going to happen in regards to our educational system, our economy, just basic survival skills. So it's important that we lock in and we make sure that we are standing at the front line and making sure that our children, our neighbors, and our family members are being educated outside of the academic environment.
Absolutely.
Well, that is a very, very great answer to that question. And you inspired me talking. I'm like, you know what? But Dr. Dominique, if I may call you that, what inspired you to start Empower Urban Communities, and what impact has your organization made so far?
So I was inspired to start Empower Urban Communities based off of my own personal life experiences. So one thing that's very unique about Empower Urban Communities is that it takes a holistic approach. So when I decided to start Empower Urban Communities, and even along my journey, people will always tell me, you have to pick a focus.
Dominique,
Dominique,
you're
you're
trying
trying
to
to do
do
everything.
everything.
Mm.
You want to do mental health, you want to do physical health, you want to do resources, you want to do violence prevention. You can't do it all.
The
The
reality is that we have to address every area of a person, every area of a community, holistically in order to see the realistic results that we want. It doesn't matter how much money you make if you're not okay mentally and emotionally.
That's true.
Exactly.
You know,
Exactly.
it doesn't matter. So the reality is that by addressing the issues as a whole, it allows to create realistic results. And when we talk about the impact that Empower Urban Community has made, I am proud and blessed to say that the impact is heavy. And in my day-to-day life, I'm always running into people who I service even years ago, and they're letting me know the different ways that I was able to impact them on a personal level. So through this organization, I do large community givebacks, right? That's where we're giving tangible goods.
Hmm.
You know, that's where the cameras are rolling sometimes, and that's where, people come out of nowhere and they are volunteering sometimes, and some people are donating, and that's beautiful, right? So we're giving away bikes, or or those Thanksgiving dinners, and those are the things that a lot of people know me for and the work that they know of. But what they don't know is that during those events and prior to those events, as well as after those events, I am able to service many individuals that sign up during those times for personal services. What that looks like is during Christmas, we adopt families to sponsor for the holidays.
Mm.
Those families receive, again, Christmas presents, beautiful. I oftentimes don't see the children. I allow whomever the child is residing with to receive those items to give to the children. They wrap them and give them to the children because I'm not looking to be a superhero. I'm looking to accomplish a mission, right?
Yep.
So if a parent was killed due to the unfortunate gun violence, I don't want to take that away from grandma, auntie, cousin, whomever stepped up that may be having a challenging time with making Christmas happen, right? But what I am able to do after buying the gifts and having them delivered, or having that relative to pick them up so they can wrap them and give them to the child, what I do personally is I provide service, or I link that family to therapy or
Mm.
additional services, whether that's tutoring, whether that's helping them to find mentor groups. So that's my reward. That's the deep part, because holidays, they're wonderful for many, not for all, but it's the deeper work that's done behind the scenes that I truly find pleasure in.
That is awesome. Let me ask you something. When you were going on your educational journey, did you think that this was the work that you would be doing, or is this your calling?
This is absolutely my calling. However, I will say when I first started college, of course I didn't have that, I didn't have that figured out. I was trying to find my way. I had a lot of experiences during high school, not necessarily all great experiences. Some, self-inflicted, being a hard-head teenager. Some by, generational traumas that were passed down. So it didn't take long, though. I will say it didn't take long for me to find my path and to know what I was created to do, and to jump right in and start doing
I
it.
see the passion. I know you're doing kingdom work. That's why I asked that question.
Yeah. So Dominique, I love what you do, and of course, Tammy and I, we love giving back. We love the community, and so each one reach one. We need
That's
as
right.
many people to be out here on the streets. Why do you believe community outreach, advocacy, and mentoring are essential for building stronger communities?
Oh, I think you kicked it off with a great question that supports that. We cannot wait for the help. We cannot wait for the government. We cannot wait for sometimes our own friends and family. So it's important for us to serve as mentors. It's important for us to personally go and get those resources and bring them to our communities to make sure that our neighbors have access. I want to give an example. So during COVID, a lot of people became familiar with funding such as FEMA, SBA. These organizations have been around for a very long time. They have been funding other communities, and they have been funding businesses for an extended period of time. However, we learned of them many of us learned of them during this time. And that's great. So now we know that they exist. But now how do we get it? We get online or we get these paper applications, and a lot of the words are intimidating. A lot of the questions are confusing. You know, the paperwork that's required, you don't know how to get it. So what I did was what I do is I dedicate my time to inside of one of my establishments. I am blessed to be a business owner. So inside of my establishments or the establishments that my husband owns, we just open up to simply serve the community by helping them through the paperwork process.
Mhm.
So I've been blessed to be able to secure over $1.8 million in funding.
I would say that's over.
Yeah.
Thank you. And that funding is not to large organizations. I'm speaking directly to my neighbors, residents, families, money that's deposited directly to them, not large organizations, or not, I'm not referring to funding that went directly to Empower Urban Community or the additional funding that I've secured for violence prevention. This is just to families.
That's
Making
nice.
a difference on a granular level where it's most needed. That's awesome. So this concept it caught me, right? So I want to ask you to break it down for me. The city girls versus the city clerks, and what does it mean in the context of your work?
In the context of my work, oh, that's deep. That's deep because it's not exactly what we're here to talk about. But what I want to say, and what that really means, city girls versus city clerks, it doesn't only refer to city clerks or city girls. We're talking hot girl summer. We're talking, all of the saying and all of the, catchy, popular, exactly. And what that means when I say versus city clerks is being out in the streets and admiring and enjoying and having fun while looking up to those who promote, sex, provocative clothing, and things of that nature, versus our political officials. If you put young ladies in the room and they had to choose whom they would look up to or who they are familiar with, we know that most likely, including adults, I said young girls, but you know what? We're gonna take it higher. Even our adults, we look up to and we want to turn up like, your Megan Thee Stallion, your city girls. And I'm not going to say that that's a horrible thing. What I am going to say is that as a mother, because of course I went to Tennessee State University during my college experience, I had fun, I enjoyed life. But when I became a mother, I realized that I wanted to become a role model, and that sometimes the two don't work together the way that we imagine. So I have young girls looking up to me. I'm working in the high schools. I'm partying on the weekend. I'm turning up the way that, maybe a city girl may turn up. But that's not who and what it is that I would like to still be.
That's not your legacy.
That's not my legacy.
Yes.
So when we talk about city clerk, I am running for a city clerk. I'm running for village clerk in the village of Burnham.
Oh,
Nice.
congratulations.
That takes a lot of courage.
Yeah.
Thank you. Yes. And I'm running for village clerk because of all of the questions that you all asked actually play a role. I want to make sure that the legacy that I leave, and I want to make sure that those who look up to me and the young girls who I teach and the young girls who I have access to, and when I get into this position that I am running for, I want to make sure that I'm going back to the elementary schools and the high schools. And I want to make sure that I am creating a legacy where the city officials, where the influential community outreach specialists, where the activists and the people who are putting in the work right here in our city, making sure that the young ladies are familiar with them and that they know that these type of role models exist and that it's okay to, have your fun. But the reality is, you have to set a standard for yourself. And when I was growing up, I didn't know about these elected officials. I didn't know what they stood for. I didn't know most of them by name. So as a young girl, I surrounded myself, and people who know me know, I was outside. And when Keisha Kayor come to town, I was hanging out with Trina and, the different rap artists and dancers and stuff like that. And that was a fun part of my youth. But it's important to me that our young ladies, not just my daughter, but that you all's daughters, and that all of us know who is Dorothy Brown, who like these elected officials, oftentimes we have no idea.
And they're shaping our lives.
Or what they do, and they are shaping our lives. And they deserve their flowers. And I want to be one of the people that are not only contributing, but that's also opening the door and making sure that these young ladies have role models that are actually affecting their lives right there in their presence,
Yeah.
and right there accessible to
Versus
them.
people they'll never meet.
Well, I don't know about you, but I thought this was the perfect forum to say that. Because if you're running for something, you got to get the vote out.
No, but I love that she came to talk about her
Yes.
community work and that it wasn't the focus of it wasn't a campaign stop, but
Exactly.
you're always campaigning when you're doing it from the heart.
Yes.
And so we need more elected officials like you. So that people know, how can people get involved with Empower UC, and what upcoming initiatives or events should we know about?
Okay, well, you can always find what's coming up next with Empower Urban Communities by visiting our website, www.empoweruc.org. Empower Urban Communities. We have Mother's Day events coming up. We're always doing violence prevention work in the community. We're helping with expungement summits. So everything that we're doing is on our website. Also, if you're looking for me, as a village clerk candidate, you can also visit my website, dominiquefortclerk.com, in order to learn more about my campaign, in order to sign up to donate, to sign up to volunteer. And I do want to say, as you mentioned, I'm here to celebrate Women's History Month, and my legacy is Empower Urban Communities. And people often say don't combine the two, but the reality is that the work and what I'm created to do is the work that will be done through both positions,
platforms,
and
yes.
they align perfectly. And I didn't grow up knowing that I wanted to be a political candidate, but as I learned how they affect us directly and in Empower Urban Communities, in order to get those grant funding, in order to get those public figures to come out to support us, to help wheel the children in the community in, I realized that I wanted to expand my platform by becoming a city official in order to make sure that the community where I reside are receiving all of the support and resources that they need.
Good job. Well, I'll say you're well on your way with raising $1.8 million and more to come. Miss Dr. Dominique Smith. We truly appreciate you and all that you are doing, making the world a better place, one community at a time. Do you have a punch number?
Punch 444 Smith.
I love it. I love it. Well, we're
April 1st
praying
is
nothing.
Election Day. Early voting is currently taking place at the Calumet City Library. I'm heading there when I leave here. I'm there most days from 9 till 5, and then I'll be at the polls on April 1st, which is the actual election day.
Well, good. Well, you have to come back.
Come back after you win.
Yes,
Yes, definitely.
Thank
Please.
you. All right, y'all.
Well,
y'all
that was
heard it.
Dr. Dominique Jasmine Smith, the CEO, founder of Empower Urban Communities and future Burnham clerk. Let's the village clerk. Let's talk about it. We're praying nothing but success and open doors for you. And you know what? After you pray, you say amen.
Somebody say amen.
Amen. It's Pastor Mike Jr.
Amen.
All right. Let's get
That's
some
awesome.
questions.
Thank you so much.
You did a great job, too.
Thank you.
Yeah, this supposed to be a campaign style. What you doing? But that's good.
And the election is April 1st, girl. You got to get that word out.
Yeah.
How you doing?
Raquel.
Nice to meet you.
We're going to go and take
Okay. That was a great interview.
It was.
Oh, yes, absolutely. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wasn't able to find it. She said maybe in the bathroom.
Oh, okay. I'll figure it out. I don't know.
You got your mic on? No, don't end the stream. No stress. Everything's blessed. No stress. He stepped up off the boat, but he never let it go. He never let you drown. He never let you drown. Hello. How are you? Good. Can't complain. Mike, put that in your calendar real quick. I'm gonna add it right away. Nice to meet you. Nice to meet you, man. Thank you for coming.
Nice. Yeah, that seat's cool. Justice give you a link?
Nope. Can you send it?
Yes, I will get it.
Give you a different. I can probably find the one he sent me before and send it.
No, I send me one every single time.
Oh, okay. Give me the number.
Jeff.
How you doing, man? Marcel, Dad. How you doing, Marcel?
Hey, beautiful. How are you?
Good. How are you?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's good for you.
We are on time today.
Yeah.
We always on time when it's Monday.
Oh.
Whew. This audit is.
It's still happening.
What did you just do?
The filter went away. It just turned it off and the filter went off. So I gotta find new ones.
What up, Zoe? What up, Sanya Lane? Sorry, everybody. We've been.
That one's good. I like that one.
Elon cut it off. Your filter. Elon cut it off.
I know, right?
It's Monday. It's time for you.
Oh, I'm like, what the?
You know what? I do.
But of course, it's Gina Lamar.
But of course.
Birthday
But of course, I love Dana.
Birthday week. Yes, it's officially Aries season and my birthday week. That means it's time to give back. I do my annual blood donation
Hi,
to the American Red Cross.
Lester, do you say yeah now?
Update my password.
When you trying to say
Although
no,
it doesn't expire until next
instead
year,
of saying
I'll
just
take
no.
my driver's
Hey,
license to get the
Nicole.
real
Hey,
ID.
really? Hey, Shirley
This
Fields.
moment
When
has
is
been
Shirley's
brought to
party?
you
Shirley,
by
when is your
Shy
party?
Gives Back.
I got you.
It's the community chatter spotlight where we shine a light.
I thought it was this weekend, and Marcel told me no. I was getting ready to come.
Today we're spotlighting the
So I definitely need to know. What's up, Zoe? DJ Brandon Barker, hello. Thank you for tuning in. Staying in your lane. You don't have to stay in your lane.
Mika. You got an Android.
Those glasses are hot to death.
Tax season doesn't have to be stressful.
Jessica,
At
see
ELS
what
Cross
she
Tax Office, we've been delivering professional, reliable service for over 20 years. Located conveniently in the Soul City corridor on Chicago
Soul
Avenue.
City
we're
corridor.
here to help
Okay,
you
guys.
get the maximum
I don't
refund
see
you
your
deserve.
responses.
And if
Are
you're
you
outside
one of the people
Chicago,
that says
no
yeah, no,
problem.
when you really
We
wanted
offer
to say no?
nationwide services to meet your needs wherever you are.
And if so, I want to know about it. I want to know why we started doing that. Where did it come from?
You okay?
What's wrong?
To schedule your appointment for special
She had a
pricing
seizure.
and
What happened?
I don't know.
See how stuff go. See how stuff go crazy.
887-5488. ELS Pros Tax Office.
You got lotion in your bag?
Experienced and here to stay.
No. My new homie is nuts. I can't wait for you to meet him. Yeah.
Look in there. You ain't have lotion in that bag.
I ain't got no lotion in there. It's in my car.
We trust Secure Home Automation, the experts in life safety and security systems.
Okay, I will. Send it to me. Send me the link.
Is offering an exclusive deal for new
Let's just send me the link.
Don't wait until it's too late. Call 866-447-3344.
I don't know what you did with this, but this is terrible. This is horrible. What is that?
Everybody relax. Everybody relax.
Well, I hate it.
We got 30 seconds. You ready, bro?
I'm like Freddie. I stay ready. I have a slight headache and I never get headache. And I've been pushing through
That
all
was
day.
better. That's literally the same one. It's literally not.
Got 15 seconds.
Okay.
That happened last week too.
I couldn't stand it.
10 seconds, bro.
Let me tell you something. Adam is messing with me today.
I'm doing what I'm told, guys.
No, he's not. He's
Go on in.
messing with me.
Oh, yeah.
Mika, you hear yourself? Mika, cut that Android down.
Today on the brunch, we welcome back Miss Mika, founder of the Prosperous Dynasty, alongside with special guest Jose Reynoso. So for nearly 20 years in the mortgage industry, Jose is an account executive at Spring EQ, managing 67 accounts and supporting over 4,000 loan officers nationwide. That's a big job, Jose.
Yes.
Well, each year he helps hundreds of families tap into their home equity to consolidate debt and build financial security. We're excited to hear his insight on how ownership can be a powerful tool for financial growth. Let's welcome
Welcome.
Mika and Jose.
So, Mika, listen, you are the gift that keeps on giving. It's Money Monday. So first of all, you've been celebrating Women's History Month. Before we jump into your guests, talk about what you've been doing, because y'all been doing some amazing things.
Yes, we just had an epic event this past weekend. It started as just a training for my team, collaborating with another regional vice president out of Oak Brook. And we were just going to have a money meeting with our teams, collaborating together. But then everyone got word. And so the meeting grew. It ended up being 300 women at my office. And we had Friday night, we had Train with Trina come. She worked us out. We had some amazing speakers in our organization who really just lit up the room and just really talked about having the resilience, the self-determination, the desire to really win in life as women and what we need to do, what we have to tap into. And then on Saturday, it was all about scaling your business to 7 figures. We know there's a lot of people, a lot of women especially, who want to be millionaires. And so we had millionaires in the room, and we were talking about scaling your business to 7 figures. And we had 7 women who specialize in just that. And we help the women with how to grow their business from 6 figures to 7 figures. So
all I saw on my social media was women in that room sharing stories. I'm like, Jesus, Mika took over the city. But that's amazing.
To have 300 women in your office says something about the size of your office.
Well, that too means you're doing something right. I can't fit 30 people in my office.
Okay. Like it's real hot in here. No, if you
it was.
People are.
It was. You turned that spot into an event venue for sure.
Yes. We had some of the men that were there in the office. They served us lunch, so that was the highlight of it.
So just imagine this office is enough room for 300 women, and then another room for men to be serving the women out of, and then other rooms. Mika, you got the whole floor of the building, I'm sure. Yeah. Oh yeah, okay. Well, nevertheless, speaking of building, you brought somebody with you that. And you're passionate about this, and you said we gotta have him on. We gotta talk about it. Tell us who he is, what he does, and how you guys work together.
Yes. So Jose is a beast in the mortgage industry, and he's been helping with my team. We've been training on mortgages, and just being able to position people to get out of debt, for one, but also to get people positioned to refinance if they need to get into a better interest rate. He's going to talk about all of the specifics, but he's been really training our team on really getting into the mortgage game. I am a mortgage loan originator. Okay. So I've been getting, I got that license last year. Now we have a team of people who also have that license. And so this is a department of my business that we are actively growing. And Jose Reynoso is helping us do just that. So introduce yourself, Jose. Let people know what you do, who you are.
Hi, guys. My name is Jose Reynoso. I grew up here on the south side of Chicago. So for me, coming here today is like coming back home.
Oh, nice.
I'm out of Florida right now. My home office is based out of Philly.
Wait, you're in Florida or Philly?
I'm in Florida, but my home office is in Philly.
Oh, okay.
Let's do a big thing.
Yeah, so you can 350 people fit in your office?
I can get an office fit 300 people.
Okay. That's what I'm talking about.
So what I do is I educate loan officers all day. So pretty much I have 4,000 loan officers all over the country that I'm going through doing, drill for skills and educating on how they can actually go ahead and help a client consolidate debt, free up capital, and reduce their monthly expenses. We're in a market right now where everyone's needing help. There's over $1.1 trillion in credit card debt. So what I'm doing now is specializing teaching loan officers is most clients normally pay 30% roughly credit card debt. And what they don't realize, there's other options. So with second mortgages, you can anywhere between 7 and 13%. But most people pay 30.
Mm-hmm.
And the reason why they're paying 30, I have something to believe is out of sight, out of mind. So when you look at a credit card, we all pay our credit card. When you go make the payment, have anybody ever seen an interest rate when they go make the payment? It's not there.
Mm-mm.
It's a reason they want you to go paperless. It's not because they want to save trees. is because you have to go back like grandma and grandpa and look at the physical statement.
Yeah.
If you saw 30% every time you made a payment, you focus on paying it down.
Yeah.
But when you see minimum $25, you only focus on the 25, so you're never getting out of debt.
So, you know, a lot of people think that because they're paying their bills and they can afford to pay their bills, that they're not in debt. But that's broke on another level in some instances.
Correct. And it's amazing. I can tell you, I've registered over 10,000 loans in the past 4 years.
Mm-hmm.
And you used to, growing up here, you think that, well, you know what? Only the people who make $30,000 has problems. I've done loans where clients who make $800,000 and couldn't qualify. So your debt to income ratio, you're just broke on a different tax.
Mm-hmm.
Broke on another level.
Now let's talk about something you said. I want you to go back because I heard this recently, and I didn't know anything about it, so of course I wasn't a fan of it. But you mentioned second mortgages,
Yes.
And can you talk about what that is and the benefits of it?
Well, the benefit of second mortgage allows you, it's basically collateral. So if I wanted to borrow money from you right now, and you don't even know me, if I gave you the necklace off my neck, you'd probably loan it to me because you have collateral.
Mm-hmm.
So the interest rate would be lower. So the difference between a credit card, an auto loan, and a house is the more foundation of that collateral, the less interest rate I'm going to charge you. So being able to tap into your house equity to be able to consolidate other debt.
Gotcha.
Well, that makes sense.
So
I guess I never thought about it like that. Because if you get a house and you get like 6% or 7%, and you get a credit card, let's go to a car. You get a car, and sometimes it's 0%, but that's simple interest, right? That's different. But then when you get a credit card and it's between 19 and 30%, I mean, they're really trusting you and they don't know you.
There's some credit cards still to this day that compound that cycle twice a month. So people just don't know that. We've gotten away from our.
Well, name those so we can be aware.
I ain't doing that one. But I can tell you this: we've gotten away from the day our grandparents are reading the physical statement, so it's out of sight, out of mind. So how do you attack something you're not focused on?
Yeah.
You can't.
And if you're not educated, because I was asked by one of our clients about, she was offered getting ready to purchase a home, and they offered her no down payment with a second mortgage. And in my mind, I was like, no, are you crazy? You know, that's going to hurt you. But if you think about it, you go borrow the $20,000 for your down payment at 20% interest when the second mortgage may only be 6% interest.
Sometimes it's zero, and you only owe it back if you sell the home. So it's strategy. I would tell people if I had $200 in one pocket and I move it to the other pocket, it's still the same $200, just in a different pocket. So it's the same thing with moving $20,000 in credit card debt at 30%. You still owe the 20, but I've got $20,000 on the second mortgage. One's at, you're talking 7%. One's at 30. Which one can I effectively consolidate and pay off quicker? The credit card or the second mortgage?
The second mortgage.
Yes.
It makes sense.
And you're doing it over a longer period of time and not being penalized. You know what? You'll be surprised. You might not be surprised, but I was surprised when people said to me, what is a mortgage? They didn't know. And not only did they not know what a first mortgage is, what is interest? And interest is the use or the cost of what it takes to use some other people's money. And mortgage is you might want to explain that since that's your field.
Mortgage is securitization of a property. So all it is you're taking out a loan for a piece of property, paying over a certain period of time with a set scheduled payments. So it's the same thing of like paying rent, except for your rent payment is for a year, then they renew and they can adjust. So I look at a mortgage as rental control. So your mortgage is, when you got it fixed, it stays at that payment.
Mm-hmm.
Is your rent going to stay at that payment next year?
Mm-mm.
Not if you're renting from me.
Only if you're renting from Action Jackson, but those days are over.
So I get to lock in a 30-year payment today and control my budget. Most people think they control their budget with rent, and you don't. My best friend, when COVID happened, her rent went up $600 during COVID, and not a carpet was changed, not a new cabinet, because the market allowed it. So in certain states, there is no rate cap. So when you making $21 an hour, you can't go in and ask your boss for extra $3 an hour to offset it. Now you're back in the borrow from Peter to pay Paul cycle.
And Illinois is one of those states where they can do it. They just got to give you, depending on how much it is, a nice 2 or 3 month window, but your rent is still going up. and it could go up whatever they want it to go up to because it's their property. So, Jose, this is some great information. Now, I'm sure there's some people listening saying, okay, so do I have to get a mortgage through you to be able to qualify for a second mortgage, or can I call you because I want a second mortgage and I already have a home? How does that work?
So if you already have a home, the amazing person to call is Miss Mika Saunders' team, and she's gonna be able to help you. And I work with her team to help them do it. So what I do is I oversee loan officers and make sure the flow of the process goes correctly.
Gotcha.
And I'll just say something on that because we have worked with a couple of clients so far and a few clients with me directly. And the biggest key for anybody listening is the fact that you're able to lower your overall effective interest rate. And so when you're thinking about that 20-something% on that credit card versus the 7% that you can refinance and get that lower amount, what's going to happen is now if you're paying, let's say, $3,000 out per month, that's going to bring your monthly payout, what you're paying out to bills, down, allowing you to free up that money to put towards something else, like investments or, like something else that's going to bring you more money. And so that's what I love so much about this process is now we're able to help a client who's paying $3,000, now they're paying $2,500 a month. We have $500 that we can go ahead and put into some kind of long-term investment or short-term investment, or pay down or pay off something. And so we're truly able to bring that debt down and shorten that debt cycle for a lot of our clients as well. And so that's the biggest key, and that's the biggest impact that we've seen with the clients.
What are the qualifications?
So for a second mortgage, what I typically tell you, 640 minimum credit score. The average person in the United States has about 50% equity in their home. So most people can tap into it and not realize it. So it says 640 credit score. Even if you don't have one, reach out to your team, to your loan specialist, and let them do it. So don't assume. Assuming will get you in trouble. We're here to help you. So it's a long-term relationship. So your loan officers, mortgage is the gift that keeps on giving. So we're always there to make sure you're helped from now and later. So I always tell you, if you got at least, if you're in the 600s, just call.
So Jose or Mika, either one, what are some of the common misconceptions homeowners have about home equity loans or debt consolidation?
I'll give you the best one. When they say home equity loan, I don't want another debt on my mortgage. Well, if you don't pay off your credit card in 2025, they will go ahead and sue you now and put a lien on your house, and they're still tax. I tell people I went through hard times about 10 years ago. So,
wait, what do you mean if you don't pay off your credit card in 2025?
If you don't pay off your credit card and they know you have collateral, the lawyers will go after you now.
Oh, you mean if you just don't pay it at all?
You don't pay it off.
Oh, okay.
So what happens?
Off or all?
Off.
Okay.
So if you let it says, I'm just not going to pay it anymore, I can't do it, I'm going through hard times, just let it go, says, it just hit my credit. Well, when they realize you have assets, they do asset verification.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
So they'll go verify how much income you're generating. So we could have, I'll give you an example. You could have owed a credit card company $10,000 back when you was 18. Well, there's certain statute limitations. Well, they realized before the statute of limitations up, they verified your income and says, oh, you ain't got a promotion. Now you're making $80,000 a year. They're coming at you doing wage garnishment. Oh, you own a house? We're going to get a judgment, put a settlement, and put a lien on your property plus interest to make sure that if you ever do any transaction on the house, I'm still getting my money back.
Yep.
So the people who sometimes realize that, oh, it doesn't matter, it's because you don't have any property or equity or the income for them to worth go after it. Once you start getting ahead in life, 7 years, things you did 7 years ago can still come back and get you.
As long as in that statute of limitation. And it's funny. It's true. It happens. The question came up to me this morning. Do you have any liens? I'm like, no. I'm like, well, it ain't on my credit, but they said, yeah, they're gonna do a search to find out. We just got to be ahead of the game, and everybody doesn't have attorney India Rios to help you get out of these type of liens or can afford it. So you want to be proactive, but it's a good point because we talk about equity line of credits all the time, right? And it sounds a little bit easier, but it's similar to a second mortgage, correct?
It's the same thing.
Same thing.
So I always tell people, a second mortgage is just like a first. When you get married, do you guys sign the same marriage contract?
Yeah.
Most people don't think about that. When you get married and you fill out your marriage application,
The license.
you both sign the same agreement. Well, a first and second mortgage are both the same agreement. We're just second in line to get paid. So in the order of paying off, when you sell your home, the first mortgage gets their money first. They're first in line.
Mhm.
and then I get
Second ain't a bad place to be though.
it's not. But no,
Third either if I'm gonna be guaranteed to get paid.
interest rate is just a little bit higher because I have more of a risk.
So if anybody's listening right now, Mika, and they saying, you know what, I want some more information about this. I got a lot of equity in my house, and they thought, which most people do, the only way I'm gonna get this money is if I sell my house. But I don't want to sell my house. I want to get figure out if I can qualify for this program. How do they reach you?
Yes, so as always, they can text the word money to 815-277-6772. That's 815-277-6772. Text the word money. And we're talking a lot about second mortgages. We do HELOCs, and we also do first mortgages. So let's make sure we make that clear as well. So if someone is looking to purchase a home, we can also help with that. And also, I want to mention that we are looking for more people to work in this department with our team as well. So if anyone's looking to get into the mortgage game and you want to get a license as an MLO, we can help you with that. Also, the biggest thing for the agents, people who want to work, as long as you qualify, you're going to make money from a mortgage standpoint, but also from being able to help these clients invest their money, from also getting them insurance and also getting them living alarm systems. So you will have many ways to make
five
money.
streams of income. Just calling that number 815.
Texting that number.
Oh, texting money to that number 815. Thank you. 277-6772. But really quick before we go, so I know the market is very iffy right now, right? People are afraid. People are nervous. What challenges do you see the mortgage industry right now, and how are you helping clients navigate through them?
I think the mortgage industry is great right now. I think a lot of it is just people not being educated, not knowing. So people, when you're buying a house, it always says marry the home and date the rate. So you marry the home, and you can always refinance to adjust and lower it later. We just had a client we did a couple months ago. We tackled $180,000 in credit card debt. We freed the client up $3,500 a month.
Wow.
We just basically put a whole person in their household at $20 an hour back in their house. So the debt was still there because we're able to strategize and restructure it. I freed up $3,500. That's helped you get off the overtime. That helped you stop going from paycheck to paycheck. What is the number one cause of marital or divorce?
Finances.
Well, I free up $3,500 in your house. What kind of relationship do I put back in your house?
We kissing.
I was pregnant. Well, we joke and laugh, but I wanted to say, before you said it was a little iffy, right? I wanted to we have this conversation more than any conversation, real estate investing. And that says a lot about at any time is a good time to buy. Like Jose said, marry the house, date the rate, because they're not making any more land, believers. You got to own the land to create real wealth. And if you have a home, and I know some people, I think this is a great program, the second mortgage, because a lot of times these HELOCs are harder to qualify for. But the second mortgage seems like you guys have a program, 640, you can help. So make sure you're texting money to what, Mika?
815-277-6772.
Now, if you call, leave a voicemail so the team can get back to you. But try to shoot that text so she can make sure that her team calling you and reaching back out.
But to your point, Jose, that's life-changing. If you free up $3,500 in someone's home, that is life-changing. And it gives you an opportunity to now do investments. Because you talked about these hot investments. And that's what you get when you call 815-277-6772. That's really like, we tongue kissing.
I say don't call. You say call. But Jose, you free up $3,500 in my house, I'm gonna introduce you to my sister.
Everybody thinks that's far-fetched, but let's go to the average client. The average client who's got $50,000 in credit card debt, which is easy to do, they're probably paying $2,000 to $3,000 a month. If I was able to take a $50,000 debt and take $2,000 and bring it down to $500 a month and free up $1,500 a month, would that be of value to you?
Especially if I didn't have to go into my own money.
Yeah.
Because using other people's money is America's platform. Why won't you do it? You're Americans.
Well, I'm like, okay, Dr. Wilson, Americans.
$1,500 a month, guess what? Now you get to sit down with Miss Mika and actually start saving for retirement.
Yeah.
The retirement account you weren't touching, you said you couldn't afford. I just gave you $1,500 to get your life back on track.
And
So
with
it's-
Social Security doing what it's doing, it's dancing around the stars right now. You definitely want to start thinking about that.
Yes, yes.
So before we go, text money to 815-277-6772. That's 815-277-6772. Allison said you say that type of money, she kissing in the mouth. But listen, believe me, you know, it's always our aim to send you back better than you came.
I think we did our job today.
I
Marcel.
think so.
To
Jose.
help Jose and Mika.
Yes, Mika, Jose, thank you for always bringing such great resources to help us build wealth.
We always want to encourage you to keep Love 24 alive. Tell someone that you don't know, a perfect stranger, that you love them. And show someone that you do know how much you love them. Lead with love. Land on love. I love you, Action Jackson.
Tamara Fair, save me $3,500 a month. I'm going to love you even more.
Believers.
We love you, baby Eminem. We love you too.
Up next is AC Green, and you all know we do it all night long right here on this version 1390, the Brunch Bunch.
You ain't look at me fast enough.
I know, right?
What?
Y'all, okay. Y'all.
See, y'all, I got to go get this second mortgage.
So whatever we can do to make you happy.
Love you, Allison.
We want to do it. We'll see you tomorrow. Thanks so much for joining us. Peace.
That's the #1 preset on your car radio.
That's a happy home for $3,500.
What'd you say?
That's a happy home saving $3,500.